RFK, I got to check back on that one. There is more coming on the Epstein files. Listen, I know this is a hot potato for folks. I totally understand. My comments were clear. I'm not paid for my opinions anymore. I work for the taxpayer now. I'm paid on evidence. That's it. The evidence we have in our files clearly indicates that it was, in fact, a suicide. We do have video. It's not the greatest video in the world. I don't want to set expectations on fire. However, the video does show in that specific block that he goes in, made a phone call. You'll see 12 hours of guards going to basically check on him, come back. You'll see no one really comes out in that bay, in that area, than him. There's no one in there. When you combine that with the other evidence we will be releasing in the coming weeks, we're still finalizing some of the products. I think it's pretty clear. However, as I've clearly indicated in some of my tweets on my official account, you know, listen, investigations, if new information surfaces in the future on any of these cases, we're always open. I'm just telling you there's nothing there in the file at all that indicates anything other than, in fact, a suicide.
I mean, you'll see this horrible video that we posted, horrible, stupid video that, I mean, you don't have to necessarily believe it, but this is what we're going to put out because we honestly don't care whether or not you believe it or not. We're involved in a cover-up. Dan Bongino wants you to believe his grainy, horrible video that, I mean, isn't that great. Admittedly, it isn't that great, but what you understand is no one kind of went in or out or somewhat, and I should probably not be on TV talking about this because I'm making it much, much worse. Similar to the time they did it before, going on TV and talking about this, and they were sweating so bad about it because they're afraid, it seems like, for their lives.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work.
They told this story of the Jeffrey Epstein client list that suddenly this administration can't find. As a matter of fact, they're telling us that it just simply doesn't exist.
Tonight at Axios, we have an exclusive report. The DOJ says it has no evidence to suggest that disgraced financier, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein kept a client list, blackmailed any of his clients, or that he was murdered.
It got even worse than that because Pam Bondi, remember this battle between the Department of Justice and the FBI, and someone's supposed to release the information. We're going to coordinate our efforts. We're going to redact the right information so that victims won't be exposed. Remember all that?
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay.
And journalists from Fox News can just say, okay, I guess you don't have any answers for my questions. A natural follow-up to what you may have seen in your possession that's sitting on your desk. Maybe someone should ask Pam Bondi what happened to that file and that folder that was on her desk that didn't exist. I guess that it didn't exist then, or maybe it didn't exist once someone told you that it's no longer exists, because whatever exists in those files doesn't need to be existing anymore. Matter of fact, I remember James Comer said that I believe they're destroying the files right now, right before they claimed that all of the people that they hate are on this list. Why are they covering up Bill Clinton, the Bidens, the Hollywood folks? Why are they covering them all up? Why is the cover-up happening under the Trump administration? I'm just curious, because what last I heard, there was a huge cover-up, and it was a bunch of Republicans. They were talking about how Democrats are covering things up. I have a series of things that Pam Bondi, since we're talking Pam Bondi, that was on with Sean Hannity. I want you guys to listen to how she sold this as being this great administration is going to come in and clean things up. Her main purpose here was transparency.
The FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Cash is also, now that we have Cash here, it's a game changer, of course, and Cash is going to, Director Patel is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
I'm looking for the detailed report from Cash, Director Patel, about why all those details have been withheld. Because they were withheld with the previous administration. It was apparently trying to cover something up because all these Democrats are on the list. By the way, I guarantee you Democrats are on the list. You know who I'm not looking to protect? Democrats that are on the list. Also not looking to protect Republicans that are on the list. The same way that apparently these folks are looking to protect both Democrats and Republicans that are on the list. Maybe donors that are on the list. Maybe really rich people that make these guys' lives worthwhile. Maybe it's those people on the list. Who knows? It doesn't exist. Matter of fact, Jeffrey Epstein never existed. Are you ready for that? Maybe that next change that'll come?
I want to be clear because I think people got frustrated because they were expecting more. You were expecting more, and you didn't find out less than 24 hours before the release. You got a whistleblower that confirmed that there were way more documents that they were supposed to turn over, and then you found out just before that.
Well, sure. And you're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And we're going, where's the rest of the stuff? And that's what the FBI had turned over to us. And so a source said, whoa, all this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Cash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can, but go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein, because there are a lot of victims.
Crazy how that works. She got a truckload of information. She said it, truckload of evidence. She said she gave them a deadline on analyzing and going through all of this evidence. The deadline apparently has come and gone, and that truckload is an invisible truckload. The truckload that dumped all that evidence on her desk is no longer evidence. I'm going to keep the lies flowing from her because she wants you to believe all this transparency as they hype up their own administration. It might, if you stop and think about it, I think they might be lying to you.
But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know. The Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. And why were they sitting in the Southern District of New York? I want a full report on that. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency. But I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day. It's a new administration. And everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know. Let's look through them as fast as we can, get it out to the American people, because the American people have a right to know, not only on that, but on Kennedy, on Martin Luther King, on all of these cases that the Biden administration has just sat on for all these years. So yeah, it's really, it's not sad, it's infuriating that these people thought that they could sit on this information, but they can't. It's a new day, and we believe in transparency, and it's going to come out.
It's a brand new day. The Trump administration is here, and we're going to clean things up. No more cover-ups, all transparency all the time. The truckloads of information, this is nothing like the Biden administration days. We're going to expose the people for who they are, except for the fact that we're not doing any of that. There was a lot of speculation around it, but there was also a lot of talk about how disgusting and terrible the things that you're going to hear about are going to be. Disgusting, because they wanted your feelings involved, and very upset about this, all up until the point when they said it doesn't exist. Here's Alina Habba.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court, but again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
She believes with these folks in charge, there's going to be accountability. There's no accountability. So where's the consequences for those actions not being fulfilled? Where is it? I say it all the time. I think I give the two examples of McDonald's or Subway. These are just basic fast food jobs. But if you don't do your job, you're effing fired. If you're stealing out of the cash register, you're fired. If you're giving away free 6-inch BLT subs to your homies, you're effing fired. But if you go and you run the country and you run on this line of you're going to expose all the criminals, the fraudsters, the rapists, and the child traffickers, human sex traffickers, that you're going to clean up this whole thing. Transparency, transparency, transparency. Nothing is going to be the same anymore. There's a new sheriff in town. All the other stupid cliche lines that they used, where are they now? They're not fired. Where are you with your pitchforks? Where are you with your Second Amendment rights, going after this fascist regime that's taken over your life and apparently coming after your children? Because once they get a hold of them, there's going to be no victim reports listed. There's going to be no client list of the people that were involved in this child sex trafficking ring that oddly, the current president of the United States was buddy-buddy with the guy who ran the whole thing.